News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager. Meta Platforms has reached a settlement in its landmark social media addiction trial. The Facebook and Instagram parent has agreed to pay up to $16.7 billion to settle claims from dozens of state attorneys general that it deliberately designed its platforms to keep teens glued to them. One of those AGs is West Virginia's J.B. McKee. He says it was a bipartisan effort.
We worked a lot on this case, but the AGs, the Republican AGs in Tennessee and Kentucky, along with the Democrat AGs in California and Colorado, really led the way on this. And so it really is kind of a remarkable little window into how bipartisan politics can work.
West Virginia Attorney General J.B. McKee spoke with Bloomberg Tech host Ed Ludlow. Meta also agreed to a daily 2-hour limit and an overnight blackout for teens. It's calling on YouTube and TikTok to do the same. Word of the deal has Meta shares moving higher right now. They are up 2%. Democratic-led states have filed a new lawsuit against President Trump's executive order to limit mail-in voting in this year's midterm elections. The action from about 24 states against the U.S. Postal Service comes days after the Supreme Court ruled against them at a separate trial, but did not say whether the president's order for lists of voter rolls was legal. President Trump says the U.S. doesn't need Canada. He said as much in an interview with Glenn Beck this morning after Canada announced dollar-for-dollar retaliation to 50% tariffs on about $20 billion of its exports. A White House official says the U.S. is considering even further escalation. Bloomberg Global Trade editor Brendan Murray has more.
Neither side has really any incentive to escalate things anymore. The supply chains between the two economies are tightly integrated, and a tariff on one will hurt companies in the other countries.
And Bloomberg's Brendan Murray reports Canada's counter tariffs could give Republicans another midterm worry. A Bloomberg News analysis shows the tariffs affect states that President Trump won in 2024 twice as much as those carried by Democrat Kamala Harris. Stocks are moving a touch lower. Treasury yields are on the rise. The Fed's preferred read on inflation, the core PCE index, came in right where economists expected at 3.3%. The headline number was a little higher, though. Bloomberg's Michael McKee reports.
It's probably due to the switch in the energy numbers over the month, and whether that matters a lot to the Fed at this point is something we're going to learn in the next couple of hours or days.
Bloomberg's Michael McKee reporting from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Fed Chair Kevin Warsh will give his first address this Friday. Right now, markets are raising bets that the Fed will raise interest rates by a 0.25 percentage point by December. The other market-moving event of the day will be NVIDIA's earnings after the closing bell. Bloomberg Intelligence Global Head of Tech Research Mandeep Singh says investors want to know where AI chip demand is heading.
Clearly, the data center segment is where, all of the upside from the CapEx estimate revisions that we have seen so far this year. And look, when we started the year, the CapEx estimates were around $600 billion in aggregate for the hyperscalers. Now we are talking about $850 billion plus for this year and $1 trillion for next year.
Mandeep Singh with Bloomberg Intelligence. Ahead of those earnings, NVIDIA shares are lower by about 1%. The death toll is up to at least 95 now from a violent flash flood at the border of Nepal and China. Hundreds more are missing, including Americans. Satellite images suggest a landslide sparked the flood in the Lende River. Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for an all-out rescue effort in Tibet. And the tributes continue to pour in for Dolly Parton. The guards at Buckingham Palace played her hit 9-5 after her death was reported yesterday. Dolly's family says she had a brief battle with cancer. Dolly Parton was 80 years old. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager. This is Bloomberg.